Doodle effect today. It should only take you about 10-15 minutes or so. So what I've done in order to prepare for this, I have gathered together inside my little folder that I've made on the desktop. I have a video that I am going to use as the background of my image. So I just use the ring well from the ring activity. And I have also, on a piece of paper, I have written my name 3 times in a nice chunky pen, so marker pen or a dry whiteboard marker, things like that. Nice and clear as best I can. Took a picture of it and I've got that on my desktop. So you need those 2 things, okay? So let's go to Premiere. I'm going to make a new project. I'm going to call it Doodle. I am going to browse my location as ever, and I'm going to make sure that I'm saving everything into the folder so it's all in one place so I can back it up later. So I'm going to click choose. I'm going to click OK. This while we're waiting. Get rid of this while we're waiting. Put this, and we'll go back to Premiere. Okay, so we're in. I'm gonna get my 2 files, Doodle. There's my 2. Drag them into the project folder. I'm gonna put the well in first, the reason being when you put it into the timeline it takes on those proportions. What you might want to do if yours looks a little bit odd, if you go into sequence and then sequence settings, you want to have custom and it wants to be 1920 1080. So make sure that if it's not 1920 and 1080 you change it to that. Okay, so click OK, we're happy. So I'm going to get my Doodle, we're going to call it from now on. I'm just going to make it the same size as the clip. Not quite in the right position, so I'm just going to click on it to bring up effect controls, and I'm just going to adjust with the position to get a Simon into the middle. In fact, what I'm going to do to save me a job later, I'm going to make it the bottom Simon. Okay, and one thing I've done, because moving these images around can sometimes take up a lot of memory, is I have reduced the resolution of this screen to 1/4. That sometimes means this might look a little bit blurry, but when you export it, it'll be okay. So that's where we're at. Okay, now I'm already inside the effects tab, but if you're not, you can click the effects tab at the top. Then along the side, I'm going to search for Lumetri color. Okay, there it is, and I'm going to drag that onto the Doodle. You can see that Lumetri color has appeared. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into basic correction. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to just drop the saturation to 0 because I've written mine in black already, but you might have written yours in a darker color or a blue or a green or a red, whatever. But if I drop that saturation to 0, it'll make it black and white. I'm then just going to close basic correction, and then I'm going to go to curves. I'm going to find curves. You've got this lovely little graph. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it into approximately this shape. And then what I want, and you can see on the right hand side, it is now solid black, solid white. I've managed to do that with just good luck. You might have to have a bit of a play, but that's what you want. You see how it's just really almost like a threshold. Okay, so it's black, it's white, there's no in between. All right, just going to hide curves, going to hide Lumetri color. Next effect I want to put on, if I go back up here, I'm going to put invert. So that, instead of it being black on a white background, it's going to be white on a black background. Swap that, put that onto the Doodle. Pop, so you can see it. All right. Then, back over here, going to go into opacity, and I'm going to change my blend mode to screen. And then you can see the black disappears, and I've got my Simon over the top of the ring video. So far, so good. Whilst I've got opacity open, I'm going to use the little free draw Bezier tool, and I'm going to put a mask around Simon. Now, it doesn't matter too much for me because my Simons were nicely spread apart, but it might be that you might have a little bit of something going on, like, you might have written your names closer together. But that's where I'm at. Next thing I want to do, okay, I'm going to get the Doodle file. I'm going to copy it, Command C, and then I'm just going to go paste, paste. So what I did, I moved the blue to the end so that when I pasted it, it was after everything. It didn't accidentally go over anything I wanted to go over. So now what I need to do, I've got my mask here. In fact, tell you what we'll do, we'll lift them up. But now I don't want this Simon, I want another Simon. So I'm just going to click on this one to make sure that this is the one I'm affecting. I've already got my effect panel open. I'm just going to click the mask path, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just basically clicking that so I can see what I'm doing, if that makes sense, so I can see the mask. Then I'm going to use the position tool. We're going to move down. I'm going to drag the mask up. So you can see I'm starting to find another Simon. So I'm just going to drag that down, drag that up. And I might need to rejiggle the mask. No, I'm going to get away with it. So I'm just going to drag the position down. That's not quite in the middle, so I'm going to put that one to the right. So now I've got a different Simon mask. If I move them closer together and I go like frame backwards, you can see, if it'll let me do it, you can see if I flick between them, it's two different Simons. Can you see that? Yeah, so let's do it a third time. So I'm going to click on this one, going to move the position so I can see it. Again, I'm just going to click mask path just so I can see the mask. I'm going to move it down, come across, and see how it turns to a hand. Move the mask up, move it down, move the mask up. There's bound to be easier ways to do this, and if you do, feel free to let me know. Move it down, there's the third Simon. So you can see with this one, I've maybe it's gone a little bit too far on the threshold, so it might be I need to make an adjustment here. Let's just adjust the mask though. I might even go to scale, and I might bring this one down a little bit, just so it's a little bit roughly the same size as the other ones. We'll bring it to the middle, we'll bring it up, and then if I go back to the geometry color, and I go back into curves, let's see if we can have a bit of a jiggle with this to make that N sort of more solid. No, not quite enough. See, I'll bring this along as well. I might have to accept the fact that that N is going to be slightly off. That'll do. It's probably about as good as I'm going to get it, but you can have a bit of an adjust because I'm only in fact impacted on this one here. So far so good. Next thing I need to do is I am just going to keep 2 frames of this. So I'm just going to go to my first clip, I'm going to zoom right in, I'm just going to hit the arrow key, 1, 2. So I only want 2 frames. I am now going to cut and then get rid of. And then if I can press delete again, it's going to bring the last one along. So 1, 2, cut, select, get rid of, click that to pull the third clip along, 1, 2, cut, select, get rid of. Then I'm going to highlight these and I'm just going to copy and paste them like as many times as I can to cover it with this. So I'm just going to bring that to the end just so I don't accidentally cover my video. Just paste, 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 just for as long as I can stand to do it. That'll probably do. I'm going to highlight all that, copy it, paste, paste, that'll do. So once I've got enough, highlight the whole whack. I'm going to right click on the whole whack and then I'm going to click nest, and that's going to blend them all together, make them into one sort of sequence. So it's one big thing rather than lots and lots of little things. Bring that up, just overwrite those. So I've still not fully like done it, but that's okay. Just copy, paste, bring it along. So that's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to shorten that. So now if I play that, so I'm going to have to go back into here. So if I go into the sequence settings, if I go into my blend mode again, and if I change that back to screen, do the same with this one because this will be the same. So inside blend mode, go to screen. I've now got, if I play it, a scribbly doodle effect. And that's how you do it. And if you look in the background as well, you can see the ring is moving ever so slightly. So maybe I could have left the frames a little bit, like having it only on for 2 frames might be a little bit too much. But within that now, if you think, well, maybe it's a little bit too big, and go to the scale, I can sort of shrink it down. You can see that, you know, Simon, if I shrink that down, it might look a little bit better if it's smaller. But that's what you can do. So it's a nice way. You can do this with stick figures. You can do this with smiley faces. You could do this with shapes around the well. So if I want to like draw on the well, things like that. So yeah, there you go. Jobs are good.